Okay, hello everyone. So in this given opportunity, we would like to present our material about morphology and morphemes. But before we start our presentation, we would like to introduce ourselves first. So my name is Ninengah Dina Juliani, and my student number is 221202109. And there are also my friends here.
Hello everyone, my name is Nikomanda Astuti and my student number is 221202103H.
Hello everyone, my name is Losara Sapilya, with student number is 221202104.
And for last, hello everyone, my name is Ariska Florin and my student number is 221202147.
Okay, so that's our brief introduction. Right now, without any further ado, let's start the presentation. Windu, time is yours.
Okay, thank you Dina for this opportunity. So today I want to do a presentation. So here the table of contents then that we are to discuss today. The first one is morphology, and then the second one is morphemes, and then in the morphemes there are two topics that are we discuss today, free morphemes and bound morphemes. So now let's take a look to the first material. What is morphology? So morphology comes from the two words morph and logy. So morph, it means the smallest unit of language that has meaning in sounds writing. And beside logy, it means as a particular branch or field or learning. For example, the word smallest, they are come from word small and is. Small is a noun and is mean the most. So there are some definitions of morphology according to the expert. The first one, according to the Jeffrey Sol, say morphology is the study of the structure of words. And according to the Grid, morphology is the subdiscipline of linguistics that deals with such pattern. And then, according to the Hammerman, say morphology is the study how words are built. So, from the many definitions of morphology, we can conclude that morphology is the branch of linguistics as a part of microlinguistics that study how words are built from form, pattern, and in a language that has meaning. Okay, so the next material will be explained by my friends. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity, Windu. So I will continue the next material about morphemes. So what is morphemes? A morpheme is the smallest unit of meaning that we have. This is the smallest piece of a word that contributes meaning to a word. The example is buyers. Morphemes in buyer is by with ER and S. Next. So, in the morphemes is divided into two branches. This is the free morphemes and bound morphemes. Next. Okay. This is the analysis of morphemes. They are the word of cat. Cat is the one word. Cat come from two morphemes. They are cat and s. So cat is from free morphemes and s from bound morphemes. In bahasa Indonesia, jadi cat itu berasal dari free morpheme yang dimana kata cat ini memang sudah ada di kamus dan orang-orang pun akan sudah tahu bahwa cat itu adalah sebuah kucing. Sedangkan S jika tanpa diikatkan dengan cat maka hanya akan berarti sebagai alfabet saja. Namun beda halnya jika S diikatkan dengan cat maka akan berarti kucing dalam jumlah yang banyak. So, the next material will be continued by my friend Seriska.
Okay, thank you, Saras, for the opportunity that given to me. So in this section, I will explain about the free morphemes. What is free morphemes? Free morphemes is a free one word that can stand by itself as a single word. Jadi free morpheme ini adalah morfem yang bebas dan dapat dan morfemnya dapat berdiri sendiri. And in other words, it can exist independently without any obligatory association with other morphemes. And the example of free morphemes is open, boy, door, team, dance, teach, house, and study, and etc. Jadi, free morphemes ini dapat berdiri sendiri dan ada dua cabang. So there are two branches of free morphemes, that is lexical morphemes and also functional morphemes. Lexical morphemes is the most of the semantic content of the utterance, for example, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. For the functional morphemes is that these do signal grammatical information in a sentence, and they are also perform a logical function, such as articles, conjunctions, pronouns, demonstratives, preposition, and etc. Okay, for this next chapter will be explained by my friends. Dina, thank you.
Okay, right now I'll explain about bound morphemes. So what is bound morphemes? Bound morpheme is a morpheme that cannot stand alone. So they must be attached to the root, stem, or basis. In most cases, bound morphemes are affixes. So affixes are divided into three. First is prefixes, infixes, and suffixes. So to make you more understand, let's move to the next slide. Okay, here are a picture that I provide for you guys. So in affixes that, as I said before, divided into three. First is prefix. So prefix means or places before a root form or base form of a word. Like we know that in prefix there is syllable pre that means before. And for the example, this, there, these are this is the word disagree. So in the word disagree, prefix is the syllable this. And then let's move to the second part of affixes, that infix. So infix is the most rarely used in suffix in English grammar. They appear in the middle of the word. The example of this infix is handful. So in this word there are s, and that is a s, and that is infix. And then a suffix. So suffix are the words that add to the end of root form or base form of the word. You can see on the example. So the example is happiness. So in the word happiness, there's syllable s. So this syllable is a suffix. Next. And also, I want to tell you about the branches of one morpheme. So there are two branches. First is the repetitional morphemes, And second is inflectional morphemes. The inflectional morphemes can change part of speech, also referred to as affixes, among which there are prefixes, infixes, and suffixes. But in inflectional morphemes, it changes functional or grammatical in the word. So the difference here is if derivational change part of speech, but inflectional change the grammatical in the word. Example for inflectional morphemes is the word uh, reading, and read can be reading. So in this word we add as, sorry, I mean in this word as we add ing. Next. So here I provide you a video about derivational morphemes and inflectional morphemes. So hope this video make you more understand. Let's play it together.
Derivational morphemes serve to create new words in a language, and they also have the capacity to change the part of speech or lexical category from one to another. If we consider these affixes, pre and un, which are prefixes, and this agentive er and full, which are suffixes, they do some interesting things that tell us that they are derivational morphemes in English. If we take pre, for example, and we add it to the word determine, we get predetermine, which is a new word that would have its own dictionary entry separate from that of determine. Now also, if we take, for example, this er suffix, the agentive er suffix, then that means something that we could make a noun from a verb. Like if we take the word teach, or the morpheme teach, and we add er to the end of it, now we've got teacher, which is noun, a different lexical category, a different part of speech. So that's what derivational morphemes can do. They can create new words in a language, or they can possibly change the part of speech or lexical category from one to another. Inflectional morphemes. Inflectional morphemes are sort of like functional morphemes in that they serve a more grammatical function in a language. So these bound morphemes that are inflectional, they don't really create new words. They don't have the possibility of changing the lexical category of a word from one to another. Instead, they have to do with the grammar, what's going on inside the word, kind of. In fact, there are really only just eight inflectional morphemes in English, and they are displayed on your screen. So we have the plural S, which denotes more than one. We have the possessive S, often written with an apostrophe and then an S. We have the third person singular S, such as in the phrase, he walks. We have the past tense ed. We have the suffix ing, which indicates an ongoing action. We have the en suffix, which indicates a past participle, sort of like turning broke into broken. We have the er, comparative, which you use from cold to colder. That's not the same as the agentive er, like turning teach into teacher, because that changes the lexical category from one to another. But that er in colder, that's doing something more, it's doing something more grammar-like. And then the last of these is the superlative, the est, such as in the word coldest. So there's just 8 inflectional morphemes in English, but other languages may use a lot more inflectional morphology. Well, that's it for this video.
Okay, that's about my material right now. The presentation will be continued by my friend Eriska. Eriska, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dina. So after all the explanation from my friends, we can learn that why we should learn morphology. So for the first reason is that it is the responsibility of linguistics to describe and analyze the world languages as correctly and insightfully as possible. And the second one is morphology, also used to gain a better grasp of the nature of linguistic rules and the internal organization of natural language grammar. And the last one is morphology can help us to understand how linguistic rules work in language perception and production, as well as how linguistic knowledge is mentally represented. So that is three reasons why we should learn morphology, especially us as a student of the English language education that will be a English language teacher. Thank you. So I give the time back to Dina.
Okay, guys, that's all about our material. Thank you for watching, and sorry if we made a mistake, and goodbye.
Bye.